What's going on?
Hey, buddy. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Drew.
What's up, David?
Wasso, do you want to request to speak? Beautiful.
Hey, TJ, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I see Drew's up here. Drew, how are you, man?
What's up, Wasso? Love you, buddy.
Love you too, bro. David, you doing all right, man?
I love you, Wasso.
There you go. All right. Who else do we got? Kyle, you here?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Nice to meet you all.
What's up,
Kyle?
Hey, Kyle.
Kyle, you are a fucking legend. What the hell?
Thanks,
what are
man.
you doing over at King Sheba? What are they feeding you, buddy? What are they feeding you?
Just doing the right thing, I guess.
That's awesome, man. No, you'll have your time to talk about your project. Don't give anything out, man. I've been watching you too. You're doing some awesome stuff there. All right, let's who else do we have here? I see the Benzinga teams here. Let's see if they'll request to speak. There we go. How you guys doing? Who do we have with us?
Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on?
I'm Alyssa. I'm the one behind the Twitter mostly. We're waiting for Brian, and he'll be the one to talk as Benzinga.
Awesome.
That sounds good. We'll give everyone a couple of minutes to get in here. Man, crazy stuff have been happening in the market these days. How's everyone feeling about this, man? I know I'm feeling pretty good.
Been wild, to say the least.
Is this a family friendly show? Do I have to watch my F-bombs?
I would watch them.
Okay, that's gonna be tough, but I'll do my best.
Can somebody make sure to bleep me out?
We need a bleeper on the panel. We need a 5-second delay. So it looks like everybody is here. We can kick it off now. So, hey guys, I'm TJ. I'm the Director of Communications over at EverRise. Just want to welcome everybody to our first DeFi talks with Benzinga and David, where we sit down with project developers who are utilizing Everone. We'll get the inside scoop on what developing a DeFi project looks like, the considerations, and a developer's perspective on the space. So before we kick off the roundtable discussion we're about to have, I just want to take a moment and let our co-hosts introduce themselves. So David, you want to kick it off?
Welcome everybody to the room. Appreciate everybody. My name is David Gokhshtein. I am the founder of Gokhshtein Media. I'm also the CEO of Pack Protocol, and I happen to be transparent, a brand consultant for EverRise. I've been in the space for quite a while, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Let's go.
Love it. Brian, are you here yet? There he is.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought it was at 7:30 and not 7 o'clock. That's my fault.
No problem. You made it.
I'm here.
So I'll let you give a brief introduction on yourself, maybe a little introduction on Benzinga as well.
Yeah. So my name is Brian. I I worked at Benzinga, and I was doing the Motorbus show where we did all things altcoins, DeFi, NFT, just really anything in the blockchain or crypto space. We've had everybody from Billy Marcus on to Gil Amelio, former CEO of Apple, to just a ton of really, really cool projects. You can go search us up on YouTube and see all the people we've had on. We've had EverRise and things like that. And I've been in the crypto blockchain space for about, probably since 2008 to 12, really early, and then really big in development and seeing everything like how I can build stuff and learning actually Solidity within the last year or two. So pretty well versed in crypto in general. And I'm just really excited to do this with you guys because I do really like EverRise. I like what they've done. They've started this whole trend on, rising the token price, the dividends, and all that stuff. And you've seen a lot of copycats, but nothing quite like what EverRise has done. So I'm excited to be here, and thanks for, making all this stuff happen.
Amazing. Appreciate the kind words. You've got a crazy resume behind you, so that's amazing. David, do you want to kick it off with some questions?
Before we do that, David, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it, Waza.
Go ahead,
real
buddy.
quick. I definitely want to
body slam me just now. I'm kidding.
Come on, man.
I'm messing with you. Hold up.
We gotta show some respect to our guests, man. I gotta shout out these two very solid devs, man. Drew and Kyle. You know, they always transparent with their communities. They reached out to us. They wanted to secure their smart contract and protect their investors and show transparency to their community that the project that they're invested in today is the same project that they'll be invested in tomorrow. So I definitely want to give Drew first the opportunity to introduce himself to everybody listening.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, my name's Drew. I low-key am kind of linked to all the guys in this chat. I actually helped Titan and the EverRise team early on in their days. I was in EverRise before it was EverRise and helped him take the concept of the Buyback, which kind of revolutionized the space, and wrap it in fancy branding and make it so that the masses could understand the concept and help build the community there. And I've also helped Kyle with King Shiba with some of the initial marketing and the initial community building there. And TJ is one of my best friends in real life. We've known each other well before crypto, and I love him. So
love you too, buddy.
I've also gotten pretty close to Waso. I know David well, all unbelievable guys. I don't have enough good things to say about these guys. They're some of the most genuine people. You always know what you're going to get. I trust them with my life. So I'm lucky to have worked with them and learned a lot from all of them.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words. And something that Drew didn't mention, he's one of the reasons that I came to EverRise. You know, while I was at Hoj, you know, my wallet ended up getting hacked, and you know, Drew and TJ heard my story, and they heard a little bit about what I was doing over at the Hoj community, and they offered me the opportunity, along with Titan, to join the EverRise team. So definitely, you know, want to shout that out and say thank you, Drew.
No problem. Well, I mean, we didn't just do you a favor. I mean, your resume spoke for itself. We knew right away from the work ethic you showed us, and like a very small sample, we knew that you were the right fit and could add a ton of value to the project. And you definitely haven't disappointed, and you've always been willing to go above and beyond as well and help me for no compensation, just if I have any questions, and you've always gone the extra mile. So I can definitely see why you had the success you had at Hoj before kind of that unfortunate thing happened. But I think no matter what you do, you'll be successful, and that's just a really small kind of hiccup in your full CV that you're gonna have.
Appreciate that, man. Kyle, you're up, my man.
Hey guys, my name's Kyle. I'm 21, living in Australia, aspiring developer. I started my journey in this space in March. Earned $1 million, lost $1 million, and that inspired me to become a legit developer, not scamming anyone in the space. And yeah, I've sort of just gone from there and found my path and launched a couple tokens, some really successful, some failed. And here I am on King Shiba, genuine use case based on the meme Shiba. And we've built a awesome community so far, which is really great. Big thanks to Drew for initially helping me build the community and give me the opportunity to sort of ride off his back and start this whole project.
Man,
That's awesome.
Kyle's absolutely killed it at King Shiba. Like just the first couple days, people didn't have enough good things to say about him and the way he was running it. He was on voice chat 24/7, like to the point it was crazy. And just he had a plan, and he told me some of the ideas before King Shiba launched, and he executed every single one of them. So he's a man of his word, and he really, really cares.
That's awesome to hear, man. Kyle, thank you very much for joining us, man. I've been watching your project a bit, and I know you've had a lot of success, and I'm sure you'll have the opportunity to share some of that success in the upcoming questions. So, to my man David, after body slamming you, the floor is all yours.
Well, I mean, let's start it off with the audience. I mean, like, I'm gonna pose this question, or I guess with the panel here, like, what do we feel about, um, Gary Genslinger talking down DeFi in general? I just wanted to start that. I just wanted to throw that question out there.
So, I mean, I could start it off, and then we'll have others comment, man. So,
Just
I've been
thoughts, like, really.
Yeah, I could start it off, man. So I've been in this space since like 2000 and end of 2017. And since I've been here, we have seen FUD come in every direction. I think China's banned crypto like 2 dozen times. We've heard over and over again, the argument of what is a security, what is a commodity. And I saw what he said. I think I saw it a little bit, maybe like a couple hours ago. But man, there's always gonna be FUD. There's always gonna be people coming at crypto, and I think as a community, like, and I'm not talking about on the project level, just as like, and this is something, David, to you. I'm not going off topic. I just want to comment on this, man. Like, you've always preached, projects working together. Everyone here is trying to, establish themselves in a new industry, attempting to bring utility, bring projects, and along the way, people are making money, right? That is a industry that threatens many. And I think that his comments reflect that more than anything else, that we are part of a booming industry that I think everyone here can agree is not going anywhere. And he's threatened by them. And, he's definitely, trying to, bring more and more regulation into the space. And it's visible by his comments.
Do you, besides him, I also feel like obviously CeFi or the banking industry or institutions are also threatened by it. So that plays into a lot of it from my personal opinion.
I think so too, man. Like I'll share something. Like, one of my best friends is an executive at Pfizer within their US operations. And even Pfizer, like a global name within healthcare, is exploring blockchain and trying to find ways to secure information, improve their supply chain. It's not just banking or like commodities trading, right? A lot of people look at crypto like it's a commodity and you're just trading it based on like uh, value, etc. But like, I don't know, I think that every industry one way or another is going to find a value in blockchain, and it's honestly a threat to a lot of industries that have fed off of other industries. Examples like, obviously, money transactions or any of these middlemen that have been involved. And again, that's the beauty of blockchain, right? Is that there really is no middleman. Everything's public, everything's anonymous, and it's all there to see. You don't need a third party in the middle.
Anybody else want to comment?
Yeah, I mean, very well said. I'll just add in that, I mean, what we've seen this year in crypto, I mean, we're a multi-trillion-dollar market cap situation right now, and it's only growing, and it's still so early. So Gary and his SEC buddies are obviously intimidated, and they feel threatened by it, and they need to find a way to, I guess, in their sense, get in front of it. And I think no matter what they do and what they put out, there's no stopping crypto and the blockchain. I mean, it's the future. People are starting to realize that, and there's such a small percentage of the population in it right now. Everybody knows about it. I think it's just a matter of time before everything starts to explode and industries expand to a blockchain in some form or another. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the Gary thing.
Let me ask you this question: what are the biggest challenges getting a DeFi project started? To the panel.
Yeah, so Drew or Kyle, if you guys want to take that.
Yeah, I'll first start off by by saying gaining the investors' trust, man. There's a lot of issues with trust with investors in this space because of all the recent scams and rug pulls, and it's actually a challenge now to build that trust with your community and get them to sleep on their investment and get them to believe in your vision. However, I will say once you do gain that trust, it's a lasting trust. It actually means something. You know, back in the start of DeFi, you wouldn't even want to know the developer's name. You just want to know the contract and ape in, right? But now people are researching a lot. They're asking a lot of questions. They want a voice chat open. They want to order. They want a lot of things before they even want to invest into your project. But I mean, it was inevitable to happen with all the bad projects that come out to steal people's money, and I think it's actually in a way a good thing because it takes away those people that want to steal from people's pockets in the space because they have no interest in growing it. They're just selfish, and I can guarantee they're just getting that money for themselves and not wanting to develop the community and this space further, which is what it needs for it to last. And I believe it will last. It's a secret society, if you ask me. Like, I never come across a person in real life, maybe it's where I live, that even knows what the blockchain is. So
let me ask you a question. What made you start your? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go
I
ahead.
thought you were finished. I didn't mean to cut off.
But yeah, that was pretty much it, man. Like, I think the hardest thing is just genuinely gaining the investors' trust in such a saturated market, especially the BSC one. Ethereum is a lot different, I will say. But BSC is in, I think, a lot different stage in comparison to Ethereum.
David, to answer your question, and I guess I'll answer this a little bit on behalf of Kyle. So the story behind King Shiba, I know Kyle had the idea a bit before, but the opportunity just kind of presented itself because we were actually both invested in a project where the dev just rugged it, and it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. The way that they did it, there was a very hyped project, and there was like 800 people on voice chat. Everyone was hyped about it. Everything checked out. It looked good. They had somebody on video chat who was earning everyone's trust, and then after we found out that it was just a hired marketing team, and I asked for access to the group after the dev rugged and ran off with like 80 grand or whatever it was, and then King Shiba was kind of born. We said, okay, let's do this properly. We have all these people. We already have a community. Let's actually be transparent and do something properly. And the rest is history. Every single person who lost money on that and came along for King Shiba made their money back in spades. And then also, I guess part two about the biggest challenges in the space right now. I think a lot of it's the oversaturation. There's so much stuff out there, new projects every single day. And also the sentiment of the average BSC investor. Everyone's looking for that really quick 2 to 10x, and they get very impatient. So it's just a big challenge coming up with like real utility, convincing them that you have a long-term real project you're building, and then also that balance of keeping the hype and not over-promising and delivering. So those are the biggest challenges for me.
What do you see as the biggest problem or problems in the DeFi space right now?
I think
not to you, Drew, or whoever.
Yeah, I think I kind of touched on them a little bit. Like, it's a lot of the DeFi investors are gamblers, rather than like more astute investors that you would see it in real companies or the stock market. But I think that a lot of the great DeFi projects need to be viewed more as real companies, and that it takes a bit of time to develop the utility, and that's where I guess really good projects separate themselves. Anything to add, Kyle, TJ?
Yeah. Another issue I also think is a big one is this space, especially my experience, the BSC space, I believe is run by small groups of people, and unfortunately, some of those groups, not all, are malicious, and they have huge power over the space. They got all the marketing connections, they got everything to make a project look really good. And obviously, the whole thing's a Ponzi scheme, and yeah, so it's really hard to become a developer with a successful project in this space, because it's all about networking. If you don't have the network of people to make a project happen, King Shiba hasn't happened just because of me. It's also because of my team, because of Drew, because of Wasso, and all the connections that they've given me. At the end of the day, I've just got the right intentions, right? And especially Wasso has put me in contact with the right people to bring this project to the next level, which I'm very, very thankful for, and the community also.
Yeah, that's a really
Drew
good thing. I mean, EverRise kind of solves the issue to an extent, but it is a big issue.
And that's where I wanted to head there, Drew, and not to cut you off, but what are you doing to go ahead and make sure that your project's secure?
Yeah, well, that's another big issue that we're lucky. Kyle is such a good guy, and he's doxed and transparent, and everyone trusts him. But the person who owns the contract just has unlimited power. Like if they decide, if they want to turn off trading and just rug the product, like they have so much power. They could do kind of whatever they want. So I love the idea of EverRise, and it actually solves a real need to earn the community's trust.
That's a really good point too. I want to speak on what you just said too, where a lot of projects are Ponzi schemes, or they are, just kind of scams, or they can be rugged. And I liked how you kind of just were straight up and said that. And that brings a lot of transparency to the project, and brings a lot of in my opinion, trust to the developer when they say like, hey, we know these things are happening, we know that these things are a really big issue in this space. And that's what I kind of like about you guys. I really respect that you guys said that. And I think a lot more people need to realize how important it is that the Ponzi scheme aspect of crypto is, in my opinion, going to kind of die off eventually once people kind of move away from it, because no one really wants to do all those huge tax fee trades or swaps, but they do want the returning passive income. So I like where this is kind of going, and I like where, that's where people's mindset is, because I think that's a huge factor, and very important for the future of crypto and the future of DeFi.
Yeah, I really agree, man. And just touching on what I was saying before, gaining the investors' trust is really the first step to making a successful project. And having products around like EverRise was a huge benefit for not only my project but other projects that have used the service. Because at the end of the day, you're essentially renouncing the contract and the liquidity, right? You have no power over it. And so it doesn't matter who you are, you can't do anything malicious. And having the contract in EverRise on launch day for my investors, a lot of the people didn't know me. They know me now. Was a huge factor in them gaining trust in me. And I'm just speaking on my behalf, and I'm sure there's other developers that have used the service that could say the exact same thing. So what I want to see in this space is more things like this popping up to help solve these problems. Because at the end of the day, what you were talking about before with Gary Gensler saying that the space isn't as decentralized as it claims, at the end of the day, you need a little bit of centralization, I think, to patch these issues until they're cleared up.
I agree 100%. You need some centralization in a project.
Totally. And I'll just jump in there too. I mean, I got into DeFi with Drew probably back in April. And just seeing the amount of scams and rug pulls and the amount of people out there that are able to sleep at night stealing people's money, it was just disgusting. So I'll ask Wasso to explain EverRise in more detail. But I just wanted to say that before I asked him, because what we've built here at EverRise is just so needed in the space. I mean, to me, when someone renounces a contract, it's a dead contract. You can't grow your coin. It's essentially a meme coin with no utility, nothing. It's just dead. You can't whitelist exchanges. There's so many things that you're limited to when you renounce. So Everown essentially is a tool to lock a contract, and you can get it back with the vote of your community. Wasso, I'll let you speak some more on that.
Yeah, definitely. So a little bit of like crypto education for everyone listening. So as Drew said, the smart contract is everything, right? Whoever holds the smart contract has control over the project. They have the ability to, blacklist the wallet from selling. They have the ability to change the tax. They have the ability to stop trading completely, right? And these are some of just like the more severe consequences that an investor can, experience. But what's important to understand is the smart contract owner has control of everything. So there's been a couple places where smart contracts have been held or things that developers have done with them. The first and the most common is a single wallet. So one dev launches a project, the smart contract is in his wallet. We've seen recently a tremendous amount of projects renouncing. Renouncing means, you send it to, the burn address and you could never make any changes. It's good because, investors know that you're not going to be able to change anything, but it's severely limiting long term. Like the best example I could think of is like, I don't know, like having an iPhone and not being able to upgrade your iOS. You're just always going to be in that world, unable or unable, excuse me, to adapt to whatever future opportunities there are. Should it be listing on exchanges, maybe bridging um, to other networks? The best place to store your smart contract up until EverOwn was a multi-sig wallet. This is a wallet that can have 2, 3, 4 people on it, and it requires a signature from all of those stakeholders to make a decision. But this in itself isn't like a reflection of the entire community. So what EverOwn is the first and only smart contract locker. And it's actually extremely simple. The dev would take their smart contract, they'll lock it into EverOwn. Anytime that a change is needed to be made, the dev will click the reclaim button, at which a vote begins. A snapshot is taken of all of the wallet holders of that token and their weighted value. They're able to connect via Wallet Connect, linking their MetaMask or their Trust wallets up, and they get to vote yes or no. Do we want to make this change or do we not? And it's the community that ultimately gets to decide. The voting system is based on DAO, which is Decentralized Autonomous Organization methodology, where over 50% of the weighted votes need to say yes. Um, that's really what the product is, to prevent any changes from being made without the community's buy-in. One of the other big benefits of EverOwn is that you're able to add a secondary wallet, meaning another person on the project team that can come and claim the contract after a certain amount of time. So for example, let's say I'm the lead dev on a project and I want to give TJ the ability to come, but I don't want him to be able to claim it unless God forbid something happens to me, like a death or God forbid anything. I could say TJ can come claim it after 30 days, or I could change it to 60 days. And then the biggest benefit to EverOwn, in my opinion, is all of the newly generated liquidity is locked. So many contracts that are launching have a function, or a feature rather, that's called auto liquidity, meaning a percentage of every transaction is taken and added to the liquidity. That liquidity, the newly generated liquidity, is not locked. It's under the control of the smart contract. While the contract is in EverOwn, the auto liquidity is locked, and the community votes on if they want to pull the liquidity out of the smart contract or not. You may think like, why the hell would you want to pull the liquidity out of your smart contract? a reason would be like if you wanted to bridge to, another chain and you needed to, bring over the initial liquidity over there. But that's exactly what Everown is. It's a first of its kind safety product, and I definitely want to shout out, Drew and Kyle for, taking the step and protecting their communities and their investors and being transparent. Like when you launch a project, like I think of it very often as an investor, right? Like if I invest in a project today, like the deal shouldn't change till tomorrow. Like it shouldn't change, and if it does change, I want to cast my vote. And if my vote isn't if I vote no and the most of the community votes yes, at least I have the time to like exit the project, if it's something I'm not interested in. But it shouldn't be a change that's made without me being aware of it. And for me, that's why I'm one of the biggest fans of Everown and what it's bringing to this space. And I'm very excited that, we're going to be launching V2 of EverRise, where we'll be moving over to Polygon and Ethereum, and we'll continue to be on BSC, of course, and try and bring our product to those networks to protect investors there as well. But big shout out to you guys, man. It speaks a lot, no one likes to give up their smart contract, and you guys weren't hesitant to do so. So definitely want to say thank you for that.
I've experienced personally like all the issues you said. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made when I first started my first project, didn't really know what I was doing, just listened to people who also didn't really know what they were doing, but knew kind of the keywords. And everyone says, renounce the contract. When are you renouncing? Blah, blah, blah. And we just did it blindly because we didn't know any better. It was so early on in that we actually had to relaunch the token. And
That's
there's still,
City.
yeah, and there's still to this day like some probably 10 grand plus of liquidity just stuck in that contract that is never coming out because there's no way to pull it without ownership of that contract. So this solves real issues, and it's just unbelievable. So I can't say enough good things about EverRise, and it's really like a real blockchain solutions company that's trying to do things for the good of the space, while having a dope mechanism in their own contract that's one of a kind and started a huge wave of copycats.
Yeah, I'll also say, thanks for that, man, and touch on the fact that you guys, you did change the space massively. We had all these copycats coming out, and I will also say it opened up a door for these malicious devs in the space to not renounce contracts, obviously, because you need the contract unrenounced to use the buyback, right? And the thing that I love most is that you come up with a solution to solve that issue. That I'm not saying you created it, but unfortunately, that awesome idea that you guys had, opened that door, and creating that solution is just, that's what I love to see. There's a problem, awesome, solve it, done. That's what DeFi is about, man. People coming together, creating new ideas. Of course, every new idea is going to open up a door for these malicious people, but just like with Everown, you've solved it straight away. That's what the space needed, man.
So I wanted to ask one thing about, let's just go to the future just for a second, about the NFT aspect to King Shiba, for example. I know that the NFT space is booming, of course. All of us know that. And I think that the NFT space is going to continue to boom. And I think that the NFT protocol in general is one of the most important things in all of crypto for just society in general, because it's going to just change how we do pretty much everything from supply chain logistics to concert tickets to art to photographs to licensing to everything. I just want to kind of see what you guys kind of had planned for the NFT collection aspect, and if that was kind of a focal point in, I know it's in phase 4 of your roadmap, but is that something that's really important to you guys too? Are you going to kind of adapt to that and take it head on, or are you guys going to kind of be, more of a I don't know the word I'm looking for on that, but more of just a fan of NFTs and having that in your platform. Do you have any specific plans on that?
Yeah, we actually hired a NFT artist 2 days ago and a NFT contract developer yesterday to
Awesome.
start our NFT project built off this project, King Shiba. And hopefully we have our first batch released next week. And
Ooh.
I will say, you know, like in the BSC space, it's a lot different to Ethereum.
Yeah.
And our solution to that is, you know, because people don't seem to want to hold the NFTs and raise the floor price. Our solution is to being able to actually stake the NFTs to earn our tokens, and also earn Shiba Inu tokens.
Nice.
So not only does it give us more exposure, because the first batch is going to be more based on our logo to get it out there. And obviously the community is really engaged with the logo. They love it. And then we can sort of venture out with our next releases into the more creative side of things once people are really, you know, normalized with our logo.
That's awesome. I mean, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted to hear. That's the perfect response too, because yes, the NFT side of and the Binance Smart Chain is a lot different. But hey, there's the whole thing of it's cheaper and it's not as well explored and it's not as well utilized. So there's a lot of, you know, potential there to, you know, who knows what 2 years from now if it's going to be the same thing as how it is on the Ethereum chain. So that's awesome.
Exactly
I like that
right,
idea.
man. Exactly right. Yeah. We also plan to, well, we're going to start development on our NFT marketplace as soon as the Ethereum bridge and the staking pools are live, and deliver that as fast as we can. We pretty much want to just smash out the V1, like the first roadmap within the first month at least, and then release our second roadmap and just keep heading straight head forward with completing that one as well. Like the investors, they just love us, seeing us get stuff done, and I love getting it done, man. Every time we get something ticked off on the roadmap, it's you know what's next? Like what can we get done next? What are we going to do for the second roadmap? You know, it's exciting. Not only for the investors, but me as the dev. Like I've never been in a position when I've got, you know, the money to just get stuff done straight away and deliver it to the people. So that's also another thing I might mention. I see all these projects and they get all this money, and it's like, what do they do with it? You know, why aren't they getting these use cases done like within a very short period of time? I mean, I can't believe how fast we can get stuff done just with the money involved. It's really mind blowing for me as a dev because I've never been in this situation before. But yeah, it's awesome, man.
That's great. That's great to hear. Love it.
Hey, David, are you
Yeah, I'm
are you
trying.
on
Like, I don't know.
the?
I was given the greatest. I was just like given the greatest speech in the world on mute.
Oh no!
You'll have that in them big jobs.
I was gonna
Listen,
ask, are you
go for
involved
it.
on the BSC much?
You know what? Not. I'm gonna be honest. Like, not really. Like, do I know about it? Yeah, but I'm not involved much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I'm a ETH guy, man. I'm just being fully transparent, but
There's nothing wrong with
um,
that.
there is absolutely zero wrong with it.
I love it.
I'll be sure to let you know when we deploy our contract on ETH, man.
Listen, you know what? Um, I understand why projects build on, you know, the Binance chain. I get it, you know. But ultimately for me, um, you know, Ethereum is Ethereum. It's, you know, I fully believe that it will solve its issue with the gas prices, and ultimately, you know, people will start to build on it again. You know, but for the time being, I get it. I get it, and I understand. Listen, we got bridges to go ahead and help out with everything. So, but again, I'm a neat guy, man, big time.
I respect that personally. I personally like Ethereum a little bit more than the Binance Smart Chain, for numerous reasons. But I started my development kind of, I guess, quote unquote career, if you will, on the Binance Smart Chain because of the whole, you know, there was that huge boom of shitcoins going off, and anyone could make it on the Binance Smart Chain. It was so much cheaper to do it. But I do see a lot of long-term viability for Ethereum. But I do see that I think that Binance Smart Chain, if Binance as a whole can get it a little bit more together, I think that the Binance Smart Chain can be a lot more prosperous than it is right now, even though it is pretty big. But I do think that I like that it's quote unquote decentralized, but kind of centralized. But I think that there's a lot more room to grow on the Binance Smart Chain, and I think in a couple years it might rival Ethereum if we get to that point, but going to be nowhere close to taking over it. But like you said, I understand why projects are on the Binance Smart Chain because it's easy and it's you know, pretty straightforward, and it mixes both. You can either have it on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain because they're pretty much Binance Smart Chain is a fork of Ethereum. So I like them both, but I'm with you on that. I do like Ethereum more, but I do have experience on the Binance Smart Chain, and I respect it.
Like Brian, think about this for a second. So I see many projects like they reach their limit on the Binance chain, and then they have to switch.
Yeah.
You know, whereas on Ethereum, that would never happen because, you know, again, Ethereum's 6-7 years old. You know, to where Binance chain. I remember when it first came out, everybody was going there, and then at the, you know, and I remember CZ. Shout outs to him. You know, God bless everybody who's building, man. I don't take shots at anybody.
Yeah.
As long as, you know, everybody's building honestly, with good intentions. But, you know, he was saying how, you know, how great Binance chain is and how it has no problems, and then literally the next day there was complications and, like, you know, maintenance calls. Like, for me though, I just feel with Gavin Wood and, like, you know, Charles from Cardano being a part, obviously Vitalik and others, you had great minds who went ahead and developed a platform that now holds how many people and how many dApps, and like, and it continues to just go. And I get it, the gas fees are, I was going to use a different word, but it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, I hope that, like you said, I hope Binance Chain within the next few years it grows, because they'll all be good compliments, and you'll see. I'm such an Ethereum, but they'll all be very good compliments to Ethereum.
Yeah, and a little fun fact, I don't know if people probably know this, I don't know if they do or not, but the Binance Smart Chain was built using Starport by Cosmos,
For sure.
and the ticker Atom, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's a whole other aspect to building your own blockchain and doing your own thing. But I will say, on EverRise point, I don't know if another project has done quite what EverRise has done and set a standard. I think SafeMoon kind of had that whole train where everyone wanted to copy and everyone did it, but look, no one really. I mean, if you like SafeMoon now, that's fine, and I respect it, but you know, it's kind of on the back burner at this point because all these other tokens are popping off, and SafeMoon hasn't really done much. But EverRise has, you know, kept on progressing, kept on building all these aspects, and pretty much doing what, you know, Cosmos did in building a safe place for these projects to build and make secure and do all these crazy ideas, and it's limitless on what the possibilities are.
You know what's
So
cool about
it's pretty
EverRise?
neat.
You have an ecosystem being developed where you have real utility, not just something that's just put out there, but it's real utility, and they are literally building an ecosystem to protect, this entire space, which, it takes time, of course, to build, but, you know, at the speed that, Titan has been able to go ahead and, along with the dev team, to construct these utilities, it's amazing. Like like, if you guys um, actually get a chance to go ahead and use any of the products, you'll see like these are well made products made by the entire team.
Agreed, 100%.
I guess I have to be fully transparent. I am a brand consultant for EverRise, but honestly, I'm really blunt. So like, if I didn't think like the utility wasn't there, I wouldn't really talk about it.
Oh, I'm the same way. I mean, if you guys have ever watch Moon or Bust, you would see that we're pretty straightforward. If we think a project's a little, not shady, or, something it's just reflection fees or anything. I mean, for a while, we were not necessarily against Doge or anything disparaging to Doge, but it's like, why is it the way it is? And then you see that that everything is based around the community that you build. So a crypto project, any token or whatever you build that's in the blockchain space, it's only as successful as the community that you build around it. And so that's one thing, that if a project can get this community and these holders and these stuff, I mean, there's no stopping what it'll do. And if you mix that with, a very experienced and talented and creative team, like say EverRise, or, any other project that's successful, you're going to get something that's, going to blow everyone away, because it's just the perfect mix. And I love the space, and I love the community. I love, each one has their place. The one thing I don't like is when people kind of shit on other tokens or other coins or whatnot, just for the fact that they don't like it, or something, something that doesn't really matter, because pretty much all these are very similar. They do different things, they do different stuff, but the software, to a developmental standpoint, is, tweaked a little bit or added extra features, but all it is just code. So no one's bad or worse, unless you're scamming or just stealing people's money. But that's what I love about this space, is because the community will make or break something. And you don't really see it too much hate. You can join a community. If you're a holder, you can join it and everyone will just accept you. I mean, I've seen people's Twitter follower count just explode, just because they're fans of a certain project, or they have an NFT as their picture. So I mean, it's really cool, and it's really awesome, and I love how it's not like, it's not necessarily super inclusive, but it's, anyone can join it, and doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter who you are, you'll be accepted.
I think. Look at this. I unmute myself. It keeps me muted. Okay. I just wanted to say, like, the DeFi space is awesome because it gives everybody the opportunity to be their own bank, and that's the beauty of it. You're no longer tied in to CeFi, where if you have $50,000 in your savings account and you feel like taking it out, you're told to come back in 2 to 3 days. So, and that's just one example, and that's why, like, the DeFi space, as it grows, I really believe it just benefits everybody, and it really teaches people the value of money, and how to get better at finances.
I definitely agree with that, David. Hey, Brian, I'll just introduce myself real quick. My name is John.
Yeah.
I work with Brian at Benzinga. And yeah, really, I'm glad I stumbled upon this conversation. I didn't know we were hosting this. But yeah, Brian and I worked together a little while ago to create our own token called Zing for Benzinga. You can go to benzinga.com/zing to learn about it. But yeah, I mean, I think, to your point, like, be your own bank. That's obviously a really big thing. I think the transparency that it provides is also really, really big. And what I've seen for like doing this project, like, it started off as just like experiment. Like, I've always been interested in crypto. I wanted to figure out, something to do with it, and this just seemed like a really good opportunity. And how we've been approaching it is more of just like, or how I've become to approach it. The thing itself is a loyalty reward token to kind of reward our community and engaging with us. But what I want to do from like a larger angle is just use it as like an educational tool to bring financial freedom to the world. Like, we literally had, it was kind of crazy. 2 days ago, somebody in India made a large group of people aware of our token, and we had 75,000 downloads in a day of people, or it was a little over a day, of people downloading our app to get access to our token. And when I talk to these people, they're all like different levels of education of what it is. Some people like, oh, can I withdraw my token? Where's my Zing? Like, stuff like that. And I don't know. I think, like, to me, I've been trying to learn. I definitely don't hate any tokens. Like, I try to like understand like where they're at and like what is the transparency of what they're doing. Like, I think there's value in art, there's value in games, there's value in all these things. Like, if that's what your token is, that's completely fine by me. I've been looking at like SHIB as from the angle of, it's really like a tool to educate people on like saving. Like, oh, you stake your tokens, you're saving, you get rewards for doing that. That's like, I live in America, and my public school didn't, and probably almost zero public schools teach you anything about education.
Join
like,
the club.
You can go to Shiba Inu and learn about how to like what these incentive mechanisms are for doing different things, and be entertained by playing games and and engage with art and artists and stuff. And I don't know, to me that's the future, and I'm really excited and passionate about working in crypto, and I'm hoping to use Zing as something to like really elevate everyone's like education and understanding of what crypto is, not your keys, not your crypto, stuff like that. Because I think there's obviously 8 billion people in this world, and they're all at different levels of education. I think I don't know how big Zing can get, but if we can help educate 100 million people, 200 million people, a billion people, whatever it is, on how to like be financially secure and get to financial freedom, and not rely on 10%, 20% fees from these current remittance payments players. That's what I'm hoping we can do.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. And sorry. Okay, so one thing I wanted to add to that is what you said, David, about DeFi being, a way for people to learn about saving, learn about investing, learn about how finance actually works, because it's such even though it might not look like someone would be learning these things when they're investing in something, investing into a coin that has reflection or has staking or has these rewards, but it will teach people even at a young age, because anyone can really get into this kind of stuff. It'll teach people who might not have the resources available to them in different countries or different parts of the world that other ones do, where you can learn how to have your own bank. You don't have to, all you need is an internet connection. All you need is a cell phone signal. And even if you don't, you can find one somewhere. You even have to walk miles to get it. You can still find something somewhere, and it can really change people's lives, because it's bringing these, this income and this passive income and this reoccurring revenue stream into people's lives that have never had something like that. And it's like, I am very, very passionate about crypto and blockchain space in general, but I'm super passionate about helping people make a better life for themselves, help people learn how to even do development. If anyone ever wants help developing or learning how to do it, just DM me. I'd be more than happy to show you resources, or more than happy to help you out. But that's one key aspect that David mentioned that I think it's kind of pushed under the rug a little bit, and is that crypto and blockchain technology is going to revolutionize the world way, way, way more than we even see right this second. Because right now it seems like people are getting rich that have never even had more than $1,000 in their bank account. They bought a $100 or $50 NFT of a picture of a monkey, and now are selling it for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, and changing their lives. And the same thing with how Shiba went up, how EverRise, how ShadeMoon, any of these tokens, it's changing people's lives, and it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep compounding and compounding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and becoming this it's going to be a household and name. It's going to be like, I'm getting so like worked up because I'm so excited, but it's going to be something that's going to revolutionize every single aspect of everything we do online, with money, with everything, anything. It's just going to change our whole entire world. And I think EverRise is doing a great job by building a safe space for it. But I also think that, having these communities and people talking and helping and letting people, everything's open source. I mean, I can go on and on, and I'll stop before I keep rambling. But
I wanted to ask you this question. I mean, like, we have so many projects out here, that that are trying to do the same thing. Where do you see the space in 2 to 3 years? I mean, you honestly can't have 5,000 projects that do the same thing.
Well, that's a really, really good point. And it eventually it will get pretty diluted. And you're right. And there's I guess my
because
answer
what's
to
the
that would
reason
be,
of creating
go ahead.
another protocol? Like EverRise is already doing something, right?
Mhm.
And again, to be transparent, I am a brand consultant, but EverRise is already doing, it already has the products. It's already doing what like we need in terms of DeFi. Why do we need somebody else to come along? For me, it's always like, if there's 15,000 other projects that are going to attempt to do the same thing as EverRise, then it's really like, hey, it's like it's just a breeding ground for people to get in to maximize profit and not really care about utility.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a very, very good point. One thing I'd say is it's the same thing as when the internet started. I mean, whenever Google was not the #1 search engine when it first started, you had Yahoo, you had Ask Jeeves, you had a handful of others, and but eventually the projects that have the community, that are actually transparent and are inherently good. I think that's a big key factor. That are inherently good will succeed and will actually evolve. If you look back in 2017 when the first big ICO bubble happened, there was countless number of projects. There was a ton. I mean, it's just like how middle of last year or earlier this year when the Binance Smart Chain, all these tokens came out, and only a few of them really succeeded. I mean, you have SafeMoon is doing pretty good, but you have Shiba Inu is a good example of that. There's a bunch of other projects that were like Shiba Inu, but Shiba Inu has now made it to the point to where it is, it passed Dogecoin. I mean, it's like number 6 or 7 at this point in the top 10 market cap, and that's, you'll see a lot of people try and emulate all these other projects, but only the ones that are inherently good, the ones that have the community, the ones that you can actually tell that are doing something that are meaningful will succeed, because you'll have copycats of no matter what you do. I mean, that's with anything in this world. You'll have the same knockoffs, you'll have all this other stuff. The only ones that really succeed are the ones that are successful, that, that people, I guess the best answers that are inherently good, that, are trying to do the right thing and not just trying to do it for the money, not just trying to do it for, the fame or just to scam people and stuff like that. We'll just have to kind of see, because, I mean, to your point, I don't know. Who knows? It might be diluted. It might all fail, but we'll just have to kind of see. I don't really have a good answer for that, to be honest.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking maybe we let's switch directions for a little bit. Kyle, I haven't heard from you in a little bit. Neither have I heard from Drew. Maybe I want to ask you guys what's going on with your roadmap. Maybe you could share something that's coming up, with us.
Yeah, I'll start. I'll talk a little bit about the project that I'm leading that's on Everown, because I'm sure a lot of people don't know about it. And we actually have a really interesting issue that we're overcoming, and I would bet money that most people on this call have never heard of this issue. And it's something I think that's pretty specific to the BSC. So just a little bit of background. So the idea for Super Whale came actually from EverRise. Obviously, they invented the buyback system where the contract stores money and it actually buys back based on every single sell. So we tried to take that one step further, and I hired a team of devs with my friend just kind of to see what we could do with that. And we built what's called a perpetual buyback system. So it works similar to EverRise, but it buys back a percentage of the last sell. So right now we have it set to 10%. So if somebody sells $1,000, boom, contract buys back 100 and instantly burns it. So it works very similar to EverRise, but our goals of the project are extremely different than EverRise, and I would never. Because we don't have Titan, and he's a master at, and he's a dev himself, so he's felt the pain much more than me with the problems that he's addressing with EverRise, and it's just a totally different direction than we're going in. So the direction we're taking it in, EverRise has what's called the Kraken, what they call this mechanism, but sorry, my phone's just getting blown up here. Ours is called the Super Whale. So as a metaphor for the contract that buys back and burns, we call ours a Super Whale, and we're going kind of the NFT gaming route. So I actually have two of my buddies who are Hollywood writers, and they actually sold a show to Netflix, and these guys are just geniuses. So we kind of came up with this concept, and I handed it off to them, and I said, what can you do with this Super Whale? And they wrote like this whole crazy comic book universe, gaming, insane thing. So we're making a ton of progress developing that, and we have this Street Fighter style game with NFTs that allow you to use the NFTs and characters in the game. It's really cool. We've only been around for a couple weeks, but the issue that we're seeing is actually that we have too much liquidity in our pool, which is pretty unheard of on the BSC. So on day one after launch, we launched with 400K in liquidity, and within the first 2 hours, we had 1.1 million. So we brought in $700,000 worth of actual buys into the pool in the first 2 hours of launch. And I don't know how much you guys know about automatic market makers and the way that market cap is calculated based on liquidity, but if we had our tokenomics set up differently, where we had held back more of the tokens, we would have seen a crazy moon effect with that kind of buying pressure. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, two sides to the coin. So, I mean, the issue that we found being a Binance Smart Chain project is that we were missing that moon effect where you have to bring in so many buys to see the market cap rise. And that's what a lot of Binance Smart Chain investors only look at market cap. But the double-edged, like the other side of the coin, is that sells don't hurt us as much. So we're looking for a middle ground where we're looking at ways to lower the percentage ratio of liquidity pool to our market cap. And I think when we time that with launching some of our utility, we're going to really see some success. So if anyone has any questions on that, TJ Wasso, I know it's a lot of info. It's hard to talk about a big project in 2 minutes, but hope I did it some justice.
Brian, were you going to say something?
No, you're good.
No, I was going to say, man, you definitely did it justice. And thank you for sharing that with everybody. Kyle, my man, what's on your roadmap, brother?
So we've completed actually over 60% of our roadmap within 10 days from launch, which is awesome. I'd love to complete the whole lot within the first month, as I mentioned before. Basically, just give you a quick rundown. It's the website, the building the community, setting up the socials, having the private sale, the pre-sale, locking the liquidity, updating the BSC scan socials, getting listed on CoinGecko, CMC. That's all ticked off. We got listed on Everone on launch day as promised. We run our PooCoin ads, run some influencers. We had AMAs and large investor groups, just like this. And community got us trending on Dex tools. We got our staking plan for everything revealed to the community. And now we're in the process of getting our Ethereum bridge into play and actually deploying our staking pool contracts and letting the community use that on our dApp. So we're going to have our NFT release on that as well. So everyone's going to be able to mint 1,000 NFTs for 0.1 BNB each and be able to use our staking system, which will also be on the dApp for the NFTs to be staked along with the token to earn Shiba Inu and also our native token. Quick rundown on tokenomics. We're just a basic reflections token. However, we do have a buyback function, which was only used on launch for if there happened to be a launch dip. However, this never occurred because I launched this token a bit different. Unfortunately, there's a problem in this space which I didn't touch on before, which I probably should have. I guess it's not too much spoken about, but it's something called Sniping Contracts. And it's essentially a software that allows you to buy a lot faster than a human's thumbs clicking on a screen. And the way I alleviated this issue was by verifying through the blockchain what snipers actually sniped my pre-sale and used what's called a blacklist function to block them from being able to trade the token. Everyone was aware of this before launch and before the pre-sale. And then when we launched, I did the exact same thing pretty much. I added liquidity and enabled trading and disabled it straight away. And yeah, just went through again and blacklisted all the people using snipers, because essentially they're just using cheat codes to steal money from the community. They don't care about the growth of the token. They don't care about the hard work put in from the team. They just run off from the hype launch and then buy before everyone else and sell instantly. So I was really glad to alleviate all of that on launch, and that led to us being very successful day one, going from a 286k market cap to just over 5 million, which was a huge success for us. And moving forward, we got the Ethereum bridge coming up. It's a whole new sea of whales. It's a whole new sea of fish, and they're a different crowd over there. And I believe, talking about another project now, is what took Floki to the next level. They launched on BSC just like us. They built an awesome community. They told their community their plans. They gained the community's trust, and then they entered the big boys league and bridged their tokens contract to Ethereum, and it opened them up to that new range of investors. And me as the developer, I see success in what they did, and I'm a huge believer in seeing and I'm not saying copying, but seeing the way things are done and taking that into my own plan and changing things a little bit. So they've influenced my plans with this launch a lot, along with the teams. And so I'm not going to say we're going to be as successful as them, but we're definitely heading in the right direction to sort of getting to the same level as them. So I'll just call up my homeboy Elon and get him to chuck out a tweet about us, hey? Yeah, so that's my plans moving forward, and the community is very aware. We've got some secret information as always to keep things exciting. We are getting listed on LBank Exchange on Monday as well, which is great. $1.3 billion in volume, along with all our use case launching next week. And then working on the NFT marketplace to go with our NFT release. So it's really exciting times for me and the project. And man, I'm just over the moon about putting my name on the map as a developer, a legitimate developer in this space. And the messages I get from people are just, they make it all worth it at the end of the day.
That's
Kyle,
awesome.
I want to shut you out quickly. The way that you dealt with the bots on launch was the best I've ever seen. You pwned those bots. It was insane, and I'd never seen a strategy used like the one. I think you kind of pioneered it, but it was awesome, and that earned you so much respect from all the community members, and I think that's a big part of the success, and just made them trust you so much.
Yeah,
we'll
for sure.
Picking your brain, Kyle. We'll definitely be picking your brain. For everyone that doesn't know, EverRise in the coming weeks, we're going to be launching our V2 contract with equal liquidity on Polygon, Ethereum, and BSC. We're going to be bringing our bridge. We're going to be the first project to use our bridge. Very unique function, and I know a lot of projects, say they're creating bridges, but ours is one of the first to have a vault on both sides. So we're not actually burning and minting, which is your standard bridge. Instead, we're locking and unlocking tokens on both sides, making this more efficient and able to transact at block speed. Sometimes if you're trying to go from Polygon to ETH, it could take several minutes to even hours, depending on network congestion. Whereas we're able to make it across within 20 seconds. A few things I also wanted to share is, through moving from our V1 to our V2 contract, we've actually developed another product called EverMigrate, which is going to be made available to projects after our V2 launch, probably within 30 days. This will allow projects to upgrade their contract in a very efficient, effective way. We are on our roadmap. This is, I want to say, maybe 3 months out. A big issue that I've noticed with pre-sales is that they charge a percentage of the supply. Like, for example, DX sale will take like 2% of the supply. I think Pink sale takes like 1% of the supply. And this is something very early on that our lead developer Titan identified, and he just absolutely hated how they took a portion of our supply and they were dumping it on PancakeSwap after we launched. It literally makes no sense. So we're going to be launching a pre-sale platform that does not take any percentage of the supply. Along with that pre-sale platform, there will be EverLock, which is a liquidity locker. So when you invest in a pre-sale, you don't know what percentage of that total allocation or that total investment is going to go into liquidity. Some of it may go to marketing, some of it may go for an audit. With EverLock, when you invest in pre-sales on EverSale, you will know exactly how much liquidity is going to be locked, and that liquidity will use the same methodology as on EverOwn, where it requires the community to vote to unlock. So these are a couple of our products that we're working on. Actually, there's one that I forgot. We have a retail product, which is it's a wallet, but it's a little unique. I know a lot of projects, they white label wallets and things of that sort, but our wallet again falls right in line with our mission of bringing security and safety to the space. So picture MetaMask or Trust Wallet with an additional layer of security. So imagine an additional password that will lock your tokens on the blockchain. So even if someone's able to get your private keys or hack into your wallet, they won't be able to take your tokens without that additional password. But these are the products that we have on our roadmap. So far we've delivered on 2 of them, EverOwn and EverBridge. EverMigrate popped out of nowhere, but we added that on there, and I'm looking forward to delivering along with Titan and the rest of the team, EverSale and EverLock and EverWallet in the future. But I'm definitely getting a couple messages from my team saying that this went 15 minutes over. So again, I don't want to end this, but I definitely want to say, I want to be respectful to everyone that's here with us. So if anyone has anything, they want to say, please, let's get it in.
Yeah, I'm free to do a few more. Oh, sorry. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm free.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to have a quick shout out to my team, Millpool, Columbus, and Diamond, along with Drew. You guys are awesome. And especially Diamond for dealing with all the messages from the people that decided to bot the launch. It wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, it was for the better. And yeah, that's my final word. And thank you for having me, guys, and listening to what I had to say.
Same from my end. Thanks everyone. Thanks Kyle, EverRise Team, Gokhshtein. You guys are some of the best dudes in the whole space. So kudos to everyone.
Appreciate that. And thank you to David. Thank you, Benzinga, Brian, many hats, all you guys. Thank you very much for attending. We're looking forward to hosting more of these once a month. And for there, I think we'll let it go. But you guys know where to reach us. We're on Twitter at EverRise, and then you can reach out to the projects directly involved. You can find them on Everown. And if you have any questions, I'm sure you can join their Telegram. And
Also, congrats to EverRise for getting verified on Twitter.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, that happened a couple hours ago.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right, guys. Appreciate all the love, all the support.
That's pretty rare for a project, a BSC project, to be like the only other one I know of is SafeMan.
Yeah, we're really happy.
Yeah, I saw a couple messages like that earlier too, Drew. That we're the second BSC project to, be verified on Twitter. So awesome accomplishment. It took quite a bit of work. I know it takes a lot of information providing and verification of who's involved, etc. But I'm very happy we got to that. But again, thank you very much. Benzinga team, appreciate you guys big time for hosting this with us. Really looking forward to have this more regularly.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we can start doing more regularly, and maybe step it up and do a few other things together too, in terms of spaces, like try out different layouts. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, this is awesome. I really like it.
Yeah, that sounds great to me, Brian. Everybody, hope you have a good night. Thank you very much for your time. And if anyone has any questions for anyone, you have everyone's contacts, shoot a DM. Be well, everybody. Thank you.